So what did those last 6 years, since really I almost checked out, what did that mean to us? Well, really quite a lot. In the summer, our older son, Jim, who we had watched graduate from Miami, he got married. And one unnegotiable part of entering the clinical trial was I get to go to our son's wedding. Of course, the doctor laughed at me because, no one knew I was going to go that long. But I did. I was able to be at our older son's wedding. People cry at weddings, but there were a lot of tears when Dad was able to come down the aisle. Got to watch our second son, Bob, get married after he graduated from Miami a few years later. Got to see 2 grandchildren enter the world. There is now a James Bond #4, as well as a lovely teenage Jillian Bond. And special to me, this is hard for me, special to me was watching Kathleen's leadership rise from a door-to-door volunteer to a national board member at the American Cancer Society. It's been very special. The work she does, as Don said, it's special. It helps not only her husband, but cancer patients and their families. And being around for that has meant an awful lot. As Don said, Kathleen did conceive of and co-led this bicycle ride last year called the Pan-Ohio Hope Ride to raise awareness to Hope Lodge, which you've heard about, the 2 Hope Lodges, Cleveland and Cincinnati. Well, seeing everything Kathleen had done for me, the only thing I could do was buy a bicycle and enter the ride. And I did. And I rode 300 miles last August, Cleveland to Cincinnati, in a 4-day event. And it was like magic to me. Now, Don McClure will tell you I didn't really have to go 300 miles, but I did make a wrong turn in Columbus. But the good thing about that wrong turn is I got distracted because the water stop was all volunteers, oncology nurses from the greater Columbus area who had given up their time to volunteer for one of the stops. The very first day back up in Cleveland of the ride, my particular oncology nurses who had treated me over the years at university hospitals surprised me, and they volunteered for the first lunch stop when we rolled in on our bicycles. The compassion, the little things, did it mean a lot to me? Yeah, it meant everything to me. I'm planning to do the same thing, God willing, this August and ride in the Pan-Ohio Hope Ride. The other thing that happened that's very poignant to me is, and involves yet another Ohio hospital. Altman Hospital in Canton is where my first oncologist, who semi-retired, he's now practicing, he's a great guy, Bob Kellermeyer. We were at an event several months ago, and I said, Bob, this has been an incredible story. I mean, very unlikely. I said, would you have ever believed that this would happen, that I would still be active, still working, still riding bikes, leading a normal life 16 years later? And Bob said, yes, Jim. He said, I always believe. And he does. And he gave me no indication along the way that I would be a survivor for 16 years. He took a day at a time, step at a time, kept me focused, kept me on the game plan. But it meant so much to me to know that my oncologist from the get-go thought, you can do this. And that belief in patients really goes an awful long way, as you know. And we believe that each of you in this room are doing the same thing for other patients, whether they have cancer or some other ailment. What you're doing for people in Ohio is amazing. You're impacting their lives, and we're so proud to be with you tonight, and we're so proud to be able to help you recognize those award winners tonight. We're just very thankful for what you do, and just say thank you from the bottom of our heart.
I think Jim is used to me always getting the last word in. But I also want to add my thanks, because what Jim said is entirely true. The impact that you make on so many levels, whether you're in the administrative end or actually the medical practice end, what you do every day can make a difference. And if you look around each day and just think about what you're doing, and if you focus on doing what's necessary, and then look at doing what's possible. And if you look at doing what's possible, the next thing you know, you will probably have accomplished the impossible. And with your help, I think we have. And we thank you very much tonight. God bless all the award winners, and thank you very much for having us here.
Wow, that's all I have to say. Pretty inspiring story. Thank you both so very much for sharing your life story with all of us. I have to kind of compose myself here. Oh, by the way, Jim, Hollywood was calling. Daniel Craig is out. You're the next James Bond.